This is my first time at Million Cups, and I have to admit, you guys are tough, because I started about 4 this morning. I'm only at 800,000 right now, so it will probably make the presentation go a little bit faster. My name is Mike Powell. 27 years ago, I married a woman that already had a 6-horse family, and that means for the last 30 years, I've been building, cleaning, maintaining, and improving horse boarding facilities for my horses and dozens of other owners. And my wife and I have a love and respect for horses that cannot be denied. The equine industry is growing and vibrant. 9.2 million horses in the U.S. right now. The industry contributes about $102 billion to the GDP and employs 1.4 million people. Now this is the part that I found scary when I look at it. The average person in America that boards their horse off of their property is going to spend about $7,000 a year on that horse, which is a lot of money. I want to get a piece of that. People do want to keep an eye on their horses because horses do silly things. People want to protect their horses because horses do silly things. I cannot count the number of times my wife and I will be walking along, and that's exactly how we look when we're walking along, and the conversation will turn around to, I wonder what the horse is doing right now. Did they feed at the ranch yet? Do you think the farrier stopped by today? Is the barn on fire? And the only right answer is, I don't know. I'll be back in an hour, because it's a half hour away. Happy wife, happy life, happy horse, no divorce. That's the credo that we've been living by in my household for a long time. Every horse owner, veterinarian, or farrier has at one time or another wanted to put their eyes on their horse, their patient, their latest project when they're not near the barn. MySafeHorse.net makes that possible. Make no mistake, this is not a nanny cam. Nanny cams are great if you board your nanny in a barn. What we do at MySafeHorse.net, we are horse people. We build products for horse people, knowing that our products will have to stand up in the horse barn environment. And this is what we have come up with. This is the slide I had last week. It's different now. We are evolving. Last night about midnight at Hacker Lab, we finished my prototype. Everything on that chart, that schematic, is inside here now. We've done something that nobody else can do. It's a portable video recorder. It'll be housed in a metal, aluminum extruded case like this when we're done with it. That turns the entire device into a heat sink. It keeps it cool, even on days like today. This will have an 8 megapixel camera in it, and a shockproof, waterproof, dustproof container. What's the most important part though is the software that we're using now. It was developed at MIT. It's a proprietary artificial intelligence software that analyzes every frame of video. That means it can learn. It can learn about your horse. It can recognize your horse. And then it will monitor your horse movements for anomalous behavior. If the horse lays down and starts thrashing, that's a sign of several different problems that a horse could have. You will receive a text and the 10 seconds of video that set that alarm. It knows who's supposed to be in the barn and who's not. If somebody comes in the barn and it's not recognized, you will get a text with the 10 seconds of video of what caused that event. It learns every day. 2 cameras are included in our basic package. That includes one for the barn, and one for the stall, and one for the paddock. While it's in the barn, you plug it in, and it works fine. If you want to trailer your horse or video an event, you can unplug it. The battery inside will last about 12 hours. This is what we've come up with. This is what horse people want. And the reason I know that is because I've asked them. Over the past 18 months, I've talked to tack stores, boarding facilities, farriers, vets, horse owners, most importantly, and the universal question is, when can I buy it? That's what I want to answer today. What we're looking at, that's our initial rollout, the complete set, 2 cameras, $15.99. The recurring monthly fee will be the data plan and server storage, and we're looking at about $45 a month for the average consumer. Horse safety and peace of mind, well, that is priceless. This is what we're going to do as we're moving forward. In about 6 weeks, We're going to have these prototypes hardened for barn existence and deployed. We're going to monitor and refine those probably about 6 to 8 weeks as we refine the artificial intelligence program so that it does work flawlessly for our end user. The initial rollout I want to generate from local tax stores between Yuba City and probably Stockton, places I could drive within a day. Because if anybody has a problem, I want to go out there personally and fix it. I want to bring my tech guys along and fix it. That's what we're going to do in the initial rollout. The expanded marketplace, then we'll, as the end of the year comes around, we're going to expand the marketplace. For the locals tax stores, I'm going to walk in and say, if you give me 10 1/4 inches, I'm going to generate a revenue stream for you. We'll provide a trifold. Their customer comes in, they pick up the trifold, they go to our website. When they decide to buy, they put that store number ID, which is on the back of the trifold, and boom, we've generated a commission for that store. No stalking, no pilfering, no problem. And on that checkout page, there's also a place where you can indicate which equine charitable industry you would like us to donate in your name. Right now we're looking at the Thoroughbred Rescue and the Wounded Warriors Riding Therapy, but there are a lot of them out there. And then at the end of the year, we're going to start hitting the national conventions and roll out early next year. Here's what I need to get you up. I need mentorship, because I've already made some decisions that a smart person would say, do not do that. And I don't want to do that again. I want to protect my intellectual property, and in that, can you guys pass up those non-disclosure agreements that I passed out earlier? I didn't pass them out? Did I mention I need mentorship? Okay. I'm going to need production assistance at one point when it starts to, when the demand gets to that point. The funding to make that happen. Then I'm going to need investment advice because I'm going to lasso me some of that stampede of cash that's going to come running my way. My name is Mike Powell, mysafehorse.net. Your horse's safety is close as your phone, for safety's sake and peace of mind. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, Mike, how can this group help you out?
What I'm looking for right now, as far as the technical side, I'm going to need some assistance in the production. This program that we're using now, the guys at Hacker Lab have come up and it's truly sets us apart from anybody else. That AI learning every day about your horse and looking for anomalous behavior is something that nobody else can do. But on the marketing side, we have the family here. This is my wife, Roberta. She's in charge of marketing. And there's a couple of things that we'll need on the marketing side. Yep.
You can come up. Oh, thank you.
Please. Because she's in charge of marketing. She's been doing that for a long time.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having us here today. We really appreciate the opportunity. And what we're really looking towards doing is moving into, over the next 6 months, exposing this to the entire industry and getting an opportunity to present it to fellow horse owners, trainers, farriers, vets, in a much larger marketplace and scale. What we're first looking to do, though, first and foremost, everyone needs social media. We really need some help with that in developing our website. We currently have a landing page, which is really good, that gets you started, but we're looking towards sometime soon having an interactive website, having a page on Facebook, getting up on Twitter. We need to prepare and develop that area of our marketplace. In addition, next week we're going to be in Las Vegas. Yes, woohoo, Vegas. Right, we planned that specially.
What happens in Vegas stays in my credit report.
And our shows that we're planning to attend, we've been attending for 11 years now, and that's Super Zoo, which is the largest national equine and pet retailing show in the U.S., and it draws 23,000 attendees, and there's been over 1,000 exhibitors. So we want to go and talk to people, and hopefully in the next year, maybe we will be one of those exhibitors also. In addition to that, we're attending the, okay, see if you can say this fast, Cowboy Mounted Shooters Association Championship.
The scariest event you'll ever see. Guys riding around in guns going, bam, 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 bam. But it's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of people there.
And that's at the South Point Casino and Resort in Las Vegas, which does nothing but focus on horse shows. They have 1,600 stalls and 3 arenas, and Mike has been...
The barn manager at South Point, the 1,600 stalls, they have events with $1 million horses coming in. He's ready to put one in every other stall as soon as we get it done, as soon as we're ready. He's been talking to me for the last year, when can I order it, when can I order it? That's why we stuck around last night, and I've got a working prototype to take to him now.
And then our final piece of the puzzle is, because we had spent our time in the Arabian horse industry. The Arabian horse is a very versatile horse. Our horses that we bred and raised we're very proud of, a progeny of a 5-time national champion stallion, Kimosabi. And these horses went from being top 10 California Arabian racehorses straight to the show ring to becoming top 20 national halter mare, and then finally on to being national champion of Brazil. So our horses' background and industry has been in the Arabian industry, and so we would like to attend one of the most prestigious shows in the Arabian industry that draws 2,400 horses, and that's next February, the 63rd annual Scottsdale Arabian Horse Show. And it draws people from all over the world. We would like to have a commercial exhibit there, in addition to sign sponsorship, also advertising the show program, so that we can make our big industry splash, so to speak, in that world by next February. That gives us 5 to 6 months to totally perfect it and introduce it to a major piece of the industry. In addition to that, we'd also had thoroughbred racehorses. We had 2 that were with Team Valor, a group that had won the Kentucky Derby only about 5 years ago. And they're pretty high level as well. And eventually down the road, perhaps race sponsorships next year, something to get involved to put our name out in front of a different crowd that goes to the racetrack in addition. So this just gives you a little snapshot of what we like to do in the next 6 months, and it's just the most exciting thing that's ever happened to us, definitely.
Social media is what we do first. That's where we get some assistance to start off right now. Any questions?
Oh, yes, we have 2.
Yeah, so is your software patented?
It is not. It's an open source software right now. It's developed at MIT, and we've gotten in touch with them. We just got it about 2 weeks ago, and we're starting to work on it. It's only about 6 months old.
Yeah.
So it's something that, if I've been working on this for a while. I had the slide showing you what I had come up with, but this truly takes it to the next level. What is proprietary about it is the adaptation. Instead of recognizing faces, it recognizes horses. And it's just a little bit of tweaking of the software that we're doing right now.
Cool, because I was going to say, if you can make that your own, you have the ability to create another revenue stream to license out that technology to be reprogrammed for other purposes.
The open source is available for people to use.
Yeah.
The AI program in here is normally used for facial recognition while reading license plates. We're working with the guys at MIT right now to let it recognize horses.
Very cool.
And so we put in some distinctive things, the ears and the eyes and stuff, and now it's learning all of that. Sir?
I like your logo.
Thank you.
Very nice. Two things.
We overuse it.
The other thing I like, I think you missed, is insurance rates for the horses could drop if people use this.
Certainly.
Excellent, yeah.
Certainly, one of the aspects, again, that we're working on, because it is a learning program, it can act as a fire detector, either thermally if something gets over 165 degrees, or if there's smoke inside the barn, it will recognize that. If you put regular smoke alarms, it'll last about 2 weeks before it gets dusty, and you'll have to go up there and clean it with a blower. This takes care of that, and yes, the insurance will be lowered.
And then one other synergy I thought would be quite valuable once they get this matured is other farm animals would really be interested in the value of
We don't like goats.
You don't like goats?
No goats.
We like sheep.
Sheep, yeah, okay, yeah, all right.
But between the cows, the pigs, and the chickens, I think there's a pretty good sized market.
I'm so glad you brought that up, actually, because there is another piece to the puzzle to this. When Mike was on a number of tours going through states asking people about this product and what we could do with it to better serve other industries besides just the horse industry, he came upon a farmer in Idaho who was let me buy it now. And that was because he was finding in his huge area of his gigantic ranch, not only animals being stolen, but his fuel farm and his feed farm, all of those areas, people were continually stealing from him.
At first, he was not impressed at all. He goes, if somebody came to take my horse would kick his butt. But then we talked about it, and every large ranch has the food and fuel set out at different places. And he's getting ripped off constantly. With this, you can set it up cellular. So it's only going to stream when something is detected. That cuts bandwidth by over 90%. It only streams when an event, and that's what makes the cellular a viable internet source or data source to use this, because this software, and normally I would be going through 4 to 5 gigs a day. We had this one set up super sensitive, taking a picture of 80, every time a car went by, it would sync, so I had constantly, but at the end of the day, I had used just a little over 500 megabytes. So that's amazing, over 90% reduction. Sir?
Well, if I can ask, what's the name of the open source software that you're using?
Kerberos.io, K-E-R, both. Yeah.
Secondly, I mean, the cost of the hardware, the camera and stuff.
Sure.
Do you have some plan, in case the prices of these products go down, hardware prices go down, are you going to like sell the hardware? Or there's another concept which I thought would be good to think of, hardware as a service which is coming up. So, I mean, you provide the hardware and you provide the service to them. So would you reduce the price of the hardware?
Certainly, that's one of the things that we talked about with several people about whether leasing the equipment or providing it and then charging them a monthly fee. We can do both. What's happened with this is because this one is based on a Raspberry Pi. I'm sure everybody has heard about it. We're going to upgrade a little bit. We're going to use the Banana Pi because it has more onboard storage. So I've reduced my cost of building one from about, we were going to the one set and I'd have to buy 2 cameras and we would set up the DVR and all of that, and it was going to cost me about $650 a unit. With this, I can do 2 cameras for less than that. I'm going to need to find out, we need to put a lens on it, and there's a couple other things, but we're not going to go over $500 on building each unit. So,
and there would be a marketing opportunity for those who just need 1 camera as well.
Yeah. But we always encourage 2, one for the, well, money. Okay, that's it, yeah. Any other questions? Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Oh,
I always have questions.
Okay.
So, for your next steps, you need some capital to get there? Do you need funding to get to your next steps, to produce the hardware, to get into the, I assume hardware is your biggest cost right now?
The hardware is the biggest cost right now. And again, I can build these for about $250 a piece. And my next step, we were looking for partnerships that wanted to get in and if there is financing available, the financing is going to be more important when we go to the full production, the production line. I want to put these in the barns. I want to put them in the barns where I know the people, we can take a look at it, and we're going to have to start fine-tuning that artificial intelligence and coordinating it with the app. So if somebody comes into the barn and then you get a text and say, well, that's where she's supposed to be there, boom, ignore. So that means she will not ever trigger an alarm again. So we're going to need, it's a learning process, and we're trying to figure out how to optimize that for our end users.
So you need some barns, you need some horses.
we got places to go. We got places to go at this point. But then once we figure that out, then we're going to start the local rollout. And that's the point that we're going to probably need some financing at that point. The going to the stores and generating a source of revenue, the local tax stores with no inventory, no shoplifting, there's no hassle. They just pass out the flyers, and when somebody orders, they put their number in, they've generated a revenue, generated commission.
And the trifold we're working on right now, because it only takes up a small amount of space, and it's on the counter, it's the last thing they see. It's not really an impulse buy, but it's the last thing they see as they're checking out. They can pick one up and take it. It's a very small investment of space for any of these store owners.
Are you going to be training the store owners to talk about it correctly? Because otherwise, I see always pamphlets.
Yeah, that's
Excellent point.
what we're going to do is once I get the prototypes rolled out, I'm going to go to the stores and we're going to talk to the local people and say, here, download the app. Look at that, you can show what's happening. Would you like to see what's happening at your horse? We'll put one of these in there. So yes, we want to work actively to make the floor personnel. It's the tax stores, the local tax stores for the horse industry are like barber shops. About 8:30 in the morning, after you fed, after you've done everything, you drive to the feed store. There's a big round table at everyone with a pot of coffee, and you sit around and you talk till about 10 o'clock. And then you go back out and you do your chores. But it's where they get ideas. And so yes, we do want to make sure that the staff at the store knows how it works and talks about it.
The collaboration is key to them.
Sir.
Great job on the presentation, Mike.
Thank you, I had a good coach. Wait a minute, I wasn't supposed to say that, I'm sorry.
Are there opportunities for sensors? You see that a lot now with like baby type things where they might wear something around their ankle that transmits heart rate, temperature.
To be honest with you, until earlier, two weeks ago, I was designing a companion product that goes with MySafeHorse.net of a collar that would come around, and it would be Bluetooth sensor so you can measure the heart rate, the respiration, and that type of stuff. This can do the thermal imaging, and it will. The most important part of the sensors is if the horse lays down and starts thrashing. That's colic. It's a mare. It's about to foal. All of these different things. Yes, sensors are something that we will be able to put on there. Every one of the banana pie has 64 slots to put sensors, and they cost about $2 a piece to put them in. So yes, there will be, as we roll out, I want to keep track of that horse's heart rate. I want to keep track of his respiration. I want to keep track of the ambient temperature in the barn, which would also work in the trailer. If you're trailering a horse across Nevada on a day when it's 110, 112 degrees, you want to find out how warm it is. You want to make sure you're not stressing the horses. Sensors will be a big part of it in the future. Thank you.
I love the idea that you're starting local because you want to get out there if there's a problem and fix it. But at some point you'll be ready to expand.
Yes.
And one suggestion I have for you at that time is to possibly look into crowdfunding. One, hardware does well on the crowdfunding compared to software. It's also a good way to advertise what's coming out there, so like a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo campaign, that might be something for you to keep in the back of your mind and be investigating as you get ready to, you go to all these horse shows, you might suddenly have to make, 200 of these things, which is a lot of money, but a crowdfunding campaign could potentially underwrite your initial capital investment to get the hardware going.
I like the idea of crowdfunding. I've looked at it, and that is something that we will definitely look at in the future. This is an early startup. We've evolved since I had my coaching session last week. The hardware has evolved.
Right.
And I talked to the tech guys, and I'm working on a hacker lab, and I call them kids. They're young guys at Sierra College, and they found this, and they're just excited. They're working on it. And at one point, I just finally said, okay, this is where we're stopping. This is where we're going from. From this point forward, we want to develop this unit. And, because otherwise you just keep
Right.
going, and you know, you're always gonna try to be on the cutting edge, buying a phone. As soon as you get that phone, you go home, the first commercial you see, that your phone is better and $20 less. So that's anytime you're dealing with technology, and this is where I told them last night, this
Yeah.
is where we're going.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I don't think, I mean, crowdfunding's not good right now because you still need to do your validation.
Yeah.
I think that's so smart. But maybe, 9 months, a year from now, maybe that's something to look at in terms of a way to fund your scaling.
Most definitely. And it's amazing as you go along. The crowdfunding, if you get the horse community behind you, then you're going to be able to generate some revenue, and that's what we plan on doing.
Any other questions? All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.